Time to come visit us at the Capitol. The gentlelady from Fairfax, Ms. Fillercorn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction and a point of personal privilege.
The gentlewoman has the floor.
Thank you. I believe, actually, Mr. Speaker, they're just walking in. But this morning I was joined with many parents and grandparents at a press conference to promote child care safety. These families shared their tragic experiences with unlicensed child care. What we know in Virginia is that at least 54 children, mostly babies, have died in unlicensed care. It is a tragedy when any child dies, but knowing that many of these deaths could have been prevented is the greatest tragedy of all. I want to thank all these parents and grandparents who are in the gallery today. If members of Child Care Aware and the grandparents and parents who have all experienced the most tragic loss of their precious children in unlicensed child care would stand at this time, thank you for having the courage to publicly share your story, and thank you for being here and advocating for changes in the system to ensure our children are safe.
We thank you for sharing your experiences with us, and our hearts go out to your families. The gentlewoman from...
Mr. Speaker, point of personal privilege.
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. As a working mother and as a former chair of the Fairfax County Child Care Advisory Council, I know how important quality child care is. As a member of this chamber, I also know how important it is for all of our state laws to protect our children. Quite frankly, there's much more that we need to do. Nearly 400,000 children under the age of 6 throughout Virginia have working parents. No family should have to worry about the safety of their children in child care. The reality today is that parents are working and they're in need of child care. In too many communities, licensed child care is hard to find. One reason that it's hard to find is that the Virginia law does not require child care to be licensed until 6 unrelated children are in the home. People who are in the business of caring for unrelated children, people who are paid every week, people whose income is made through caring for our children should have a license. We're not talking about grandmothers. We're not talking about the occasional Friday or Saturday night at a babysitter. We are talking about those individuals who earn a wage, who earn their living caring for people's children, our children. The bills I have introduced are HB 1552 and HB 2046. They're based on common sense. First, those with a history of criminal offense should not be in the child care business. They shouldn't work in a licensed program, and they shouldn't be licensed to care for other people's children. Second, all children in child care should be counted. The current statute exempts children from counting towards the state licensing threshold. But in a fire or an emergency, all kids must be saved. They all must be counted. Even the children the current law exempts from counting towards the licensing threshold. No children are invisible, and the licensing threshold ought to reflect the total number of children in care. Third, the licensing threshold must be reduced. Not requiring a license until 6 unrelated children are in the home makes licensed care very challenging to find throughout the Commonwealth. It truly opens the door for providers to game the current counting system. Let's also be realistic about this. Licensing is not an onerous business expense. Do you know how much it costs? $14 per year. $14. And you might be aware, maybe you're not, that it's more expensive to get a barber's license than it is to obtain a license for childcare today. And with the licensing also comes some minimal training from the state, how to keep kids safe, how to be prepared in cases of emergency or fires. Licensing also requires a background check. That costs about $50, and that lasts for 3 years. These are small costs to pay when keeping our kids safe, and the return on investment is huge. That's why these bills have support from both sides of the aisle. And I'd like to also thank the delegate from Prince William, Delegate Anderson, who has been working with me and the stakeholders on these issues throughout the year. We shouldn't wait another moment. We can't wait another moment. We don't want to see any more needless deaths of children. Let's protect our children, all of our children, and pass these bills. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.